Hi guys, Mr. Lay here for another Bass Till Late podcast. And on this episode, I am joined by label owners, DJs and heavyweight producers, Bitrate and Gavin Ford. Evening guys, how are you?
Hey, hello.
Hey, yeah, I'm all good. Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. I'm excited to talk to you guys. Super excited actually, if I'm honest with you. So I'm just gonna start by throwing it right back. How do you guys know each other?
God. DJing in Southampton. I came to uni in Southampton in 2005, and then we met probably like 2006, was it?
Yeah. I was the best DJ in Southampton.
Was?
Yeah. And I think most DJs had to come to me and sort of get clearance, see if they were worthy of playing.
Yeah, to come and get anointed by Gav. And we were both DJing at a club called Junk.
All right, yeah.
And I was doing the student night. Well, we were both doing the student night, but
He was doing upstairs and I was doing downstairs.
Gav was downstairs.
I see. So it's always been a good partnership from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh, well, I would come upstairs and they'd be like, what the? What's going on up here? Because he would play like absolutely indie music, and then it would mix into drum and bass, and then it would mix into this and mix into that, and I was just playing. Well,
you play slow jams downstairs.
Is it them ones? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I had the tiny the small only 100 people playing just grime and everything that would make people get overexcited, and the doorman to tell me to calm down. But upstairs they play. But I used to watch Chris before I would go downstairs and think I don't understand what's going on. I need to practice DJing a bit more.
Well, obviously,
yeah, we had them all watching upstairs, and Gav had them all sweaty downstairs.
Yeah, it was a Tuesday night as well.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that indie music into D&B obviously caught your eye to the point where you both have collaborated and started running a label together. I mean, how quickly was that process, or has it been a few years to build that up?
Yeah, Gav and that already were doing the Four thing. We've known each other so long. They were doing the Four thing, and they'd started Pure Garage compilation.
Mm-hmm. We were putting together Pure Garage compilation 3 years ago, and it was a real big thing for us to do Pure Garage. And when we were putting it together, we scoured the earth for new garage music to get 60 tracks. I think we compiled 120, but in the end, it's probably about 40 actual garage tracks, and there was somewhere, this is garagey. It's garagey enough, because there wasn't enough new garage music. But we found some amazing producers and thought they're all doing remixes of this song or remixes of that song, and we come from a songwriting background of producers. So we thought if we wrote songs for these producers and started a label, we'd have a great label, and that's how Garage Shared started, with Selector and Black Habit. And
yeah, I was just about to say. No, sorry, just to interrupt. Sorry, I was just about to say, especially with those names now, when you just say, Selector and Black Habit, where you've taken them from the beginning to where now, if you're into the bass scene and you're into the garage scene, they're quite household names. And even yourself, Bitrate as well, with that, you got people like Tough Culture as well, who had a release with as well. So what's it like with these people who you know as friends and watching them grow through your own label?
I think that's quite important to us as a label, is to sort of work with artists on a longer term basis, to see them grow, even taking people who, like Tough Culture's been around for a long time and he's been killing it, but to even work with him and sort of see how we can help him push his sound further afield as much as we can, and just add to it, if anything. Do you know what I mean? Add to people knowing about how good this guy is. Same with Selector as well.
We're artists ourselves, so we run the label. It's very artist focused, as opposed to, I don't know what the opposite is. every label should be, but because we're artists, and we can work on, we've written songs for Selector, Black Habit, and we can come and do we can work on stuff without saying, oh, this is us and that. Like we don't do it or to collaborate. We do it to make their songs the best possible songs we can, and then we try and market them the best possible way we can. So we care as much as about their music as they do, if not more, and we want to make it the best and get to as many people because we believe in them. Because this label come from us believing in them 3 years ago and hearing that these guys could be household names, like you said, and then started the mission to try and get them there. So that's we're dedicated to getting these people where they deserve to be.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. Especially with Four as well. I think if you are from the bass scene, you being a part of Four is a massive part of the community and everything that's happening right now, at being at the forefront of it. You've had Friends of Four compilations, obviously Bitrate, you came out on that a few years ago. You had a collaboration with Fawn on one of the early Yosh albums that came out with Four.
And Gav was nice enough to let me mix it. So even though I wasn't the best DJ in Southampton, he thought we'll get the second best to mix it.
He's top three, as long as he's top three, you'll have a chance.
But that's kind of like, I mean, that's really like how they brought me on board with Garage Shared as well. It's because we've known each other so long. Obviously, we talk about music all the time, and Garage was like the one constant, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, like we like other genres as well, but that's always been the one constant and stuff.
Well, Chris would be the person that I would ask. Chris will always be the person I'd ask for tunes, because Chris has got this knowledge of music, electronic music, all music, I suppose. Yeah. And I'd be like, what was this record? Or I need records that sound like this or stuff like this. I always go to him for that. And I'd always listen to his DJing and copy him. So when it was a chance, anything we could find for Chris to do to try and help him, like mix albums.
Just kicking my heels otherwise.
Luckily, as I say, we created Garage Shared to do vocals with great vocal producers, but the scene went very dubby and clubby, which is Chris's forte. So he come in and said, we need to do GS dubs, and we've got some of the producers do some stuff, and now he's signed some new producers, and Tough Culture's come over to do that sort of stuff. And
getting so many submissions because the scene and is growing like by the week, which is great to see. You know what I mean? You're getting more and more radio shows on commercial stations lately, especially, which is awesome to see. It's just a signification of what's been going on, especially over the last 18 months, I think, of like just growing and growing. So to replicate that, we were like, I think we do need another label as well as Garage Shared doing its thing. Something that's a bit more danceful already.
That makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. And I think what I hate hearing, because I'm a massive fan of garage and bass, for anyone who doesn't know, and I hate hearing that thing where it's like, all garage and bass sounds the same. You get it in any genre, but you always hear that. And I think from you two and the things that you do, with Yosh and Yosh Pit, that's more of the heavier bass line, kind of dubstep, kind of heavier side of the bass music. And obviously Garage Shared, like you said, is the more vocal kind. GS Dubs is more like the remixes and editing. And you also, as you're both from Southampton, you focus a lot on the talent that's growing over there as well. And Gavin, I just wanted to talk about a post that you put up this week saying you had 3 releases out on 3 different labels that have all hit the top 10. Like, how does that feel when a lot of people in 2020 are saying this is not my year, and it's still being successful for you?
Well, it's still not our year.
Still not the year? No. Sounds pretty good to me.
No, it's amazing, but obviously it's a testament of the people that we work with, and we have like the Sounds of Southampton label on our SO label is put together by Tyrone, who's worked together to put together like not only the best Southampton artists, but artists that have never even released before. And when we started all of these labels, we've always wanted to listen to find talent that's not necessarily the finished article, but listen beyond it to go, this person could do something great if they were like Select or Black Habit, to go back to them as a thing. But you can hear that they've got the talent, they just need songs. So with everything we want to do, from Miss Pink, who is another one, is a top 10, like she had music, and we just believed that her music didn't sound like anyone else's, but it was really good, which can be a pain in the ass to market. But when there was years ago, Four had music that was really good that didn't really sound like anyone else's. So I guess it's close to our heart, and you want to be like, this person's good and we believe in them. So to get 3 artists at this, well, 3 projects in the top 10 in the same week in different charts is a testament to their talent. And it's what we've always wanted to do, is to help people get to where they deserve to be. So that's the best thing for us, is to see other people realizing how good these people are.
Yeah, it's really important. I think it's really refreshing as well. I feel like, especially with Garage Shed and GS Dubs, there's always someone new. Whenever there's a release, or every couple of months, there's always someone new that's on the table, which I think is really exciting and standing out in the crowd, to be honest with you. In terms of yourself and Four, every year I just feel you go from strength to strength. I remember a couple of years ago, I couldn't go to any rave without hearing Bad Man being dropped. Just could not get away from it. Loved that tune. And then, of course, you had success with Fresh. How was that for you?
Well, the advert was on the Coors Diet advert, so that was exciting. We like beer. So.
Did you get the hookup? Was it sweet?
No, they gave us 1 or 2 when we went to the initial thing.
I dropped you on a mountain. It was pretty cold.
I was going to say, or a trip to the skiing resort or something. There was just
that was me
there.
swimming through the thing. That was me in the advert. You wouldn't notice because my back was to it, and I had like the cap on and stuff. But I thought it was a bit out of order getting me to do the swimming as well and the music. I thought they could have got someone else in.
I just remember hearing like the beginning of the tune popping in. And I was like, is that Fresh? And it was just mad to see something like a tune like that commercially on television. I thought it was mad.
No, we're very lucky. You can't and it's, regardless of the rubbish that's happened this year, that was probably the best way to start. So, yeah, hopefully it's the first of many songs that to do with our label that are on TV. So it feels good, and it's also the song was 2 years old, and when we've always believed in that song from its conception, and it did well. But you always feel like this record's really, really good. When we used to play it, we play it every set when we could play out, and up until the thing, you think this record's really, really good. Like it's the same with a record we done called Black Bandana. You just think like this record hasn't lived up to its full potential. So it going on an advert and being signed to Warner and this, and you think, oh, there you go, that's what it is. So it feels good that a record that you believe in finally gets the ears on it that it deserves.
Yeah, 100%. And moving to you, so you had your first Rated mixtape drop, and then very excitingly you came back out with Rated 2, which luckily enough for me and grateful enough, you added my tune on there. So big ups to you, and thank you for that. behave. No, honestly, there's so much talent on there, and I love the diversity of it. Actually, to be honest with you, all the tracks bring something different to the mix itself. So I just wanted to talk through like the process, your selection, and what kind of artists and what tunes really stuck out for you in that mix.
Okay, so going back to last year's one, it was going back to sort of saying we get so many submissions and stuff. We just wanted to be like, we're getting so much talent coming through that we wanted to sort of present it in a way of like, this is all brand new stuff, like go and look at it. And it was both times I've been blessed with tracks, to be perfectly honest, like just more of a testament to the artists on there. There is a selection process of me knowing what I want with regards to vibe, and I'm influenced by a lot of different things, so I kind of want to touch on the heavier side, which is like where you came in this time. Like it was quite like that's like a heavier track on the album. But then I also like a sort of more restrained sort of Gavin seems to think that I hate vocals. There's a big thing going on in Shared HQ that I don't hate vocals.
No,
I always hate. I'm just quite particular is all. But like, so I just wanted to replicate that on the mixes as well, and be like, look, I do like them. I do like 4/4 sort of stuff. I do like the bass here end. I do like MCs as well. So you got like Kirby and Forbes on this one. Like that, I love that track. Like, and there's more to come from Forbes next year as well. But I ain't gonna get too far into it. Last year when we released the album, I think a lot of tracks got lost because we released like 20 tracks at the same time, which was great for the listener, but at the same time, I feel like a couple unfairly got lost in the shuffle, just because that's always going to happen when releasing so many tracks at once. So what we've done this time around is we released it all in once, but as a mix. So there's only like 90 seconds to 2 minutes per track on the thing, and we'll gauge to see what people are feeling. Every track is going to see the light of day in some way, shape or form, but I think it's a better way that we've done it this way around, that we're able to sort of say, here's a bit of it, see how you like it, then we can give each track its own attention, which it should do, which each artist should get more attention and stuff. So yeah, really happy with how it's came around this time. The reaction's been really good, and again, blessed with the tracks that I was able to sort of work with artists. Just the level of quality is definitely, I think if you listen to last year's and this year's, the level was...
Yeah, it was a great selection of tracks.
Yeah.
And yours is in the top 3.
Do you reckon?
Best a minute ago, now top 3.
Yeah, because she said
I'll take any number that Gavin says to me.
No, I do things in top 3, so yours is in the top 3. Blackjack's in the top 3.
It is very different, and I think all of, like you said, the selection's very different, and in comparison to the original mixtape that you put out last year, that like it is just a whole different selection there. Is there any tunes, or was there an artist in particular that you was very excited to have on this one?
Really chuffed about getting Tough Culture involved.
Yeah.
Really happy about that. Like his releases, not even just for us, just his releases are always strong, but especially the stuff he's done for us this year, with Roots earlier on in the year, then Element 7 that came out and just blew us all away in the office and stuff. And then just coming out Roots, I was just proper happy to have him involved. There's always quality with someone like Selector, like one of the most consistent producers in garage over the last few years, and he's got some amazing stuff coming up. So I was really happy to be able to preview that. There's literally so many producers on that. That was, for instance, someone new as well, like having George Forth involved, who I've been a big fan of his since we started working with him. And it's really cool to see the established guys, like sort of Selector and Tough Culture, but the newer guys, like George Forth and stuff. And we've got some exciting stuff coming from him as well. It's really nice to be able to sort of put it all in a package and tease it a little bit to people and be like, there's some big things.
So you're super proud of it, basically.
Big things coming.
Yeah, you guys are so passionate. Yeah, I love it.
I think that's as much as we're passionate about the artists, we're also passionate about the genre of music. Like, obviously, 2020 has been a kick in the balls for a lot of people, but wanting to see this music out in clubs, out in raves, that's been the biggest drawback for me, not being able, like, sort of seeing these songs go out there and like not fully out there as much as they want. So fingers crossed next year it can come back around and we can get some of this music out.
Yeah, I'm with you there 100%. You was talking about kind of big names as well. So you say you have the love and stuff for garage and bass, and with your work with Selector, what is it like to have your own tune remixed by Matt Jam Lamont and Echelon as well? How do you process something like that?
That was kind of surreal. So that came from like Matt Jam Lamont calling On My Knees, one of his favourite garage tunes of last year. Like, he did a big share it, he used it on one of his videos.
It was a massive tune. I rinsed it. I think everyone did. It was amazing.
But that alone was huge. And then so we were just like, oh, it'd be really cool if we got On My Knees remix. Like, we haven't really done any remixes of that. Who to get to remix it? And we just threw it out there and said, you know what I mean, you were a fan of it, fancy it. And they both were like, yeah, and they came, they smashed it. I'm sorry, it's a bit surreal to sort of somebody that I was, buying tunes from back in the day, both of them, like going out and seeing Matt at raves and stuff. And like, now that he's remixed one of my tunes, is a bit like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I saw you jumped on his radio show recently as well. So that is just the relationship's building, which must be just super mad.
Yeah, he put me on Rinse a couple of weeks ago, which I was blessed for and stuff. That I've never that's been like a box sticker to sort of
love that.
Stuff. So,
yeah.
And I think it's just I mean, we're working hard, so that's quite a nice sort of testament to that.
And EZ took his hat off to you, didn't he?
EZ apparently took his hat off me. I've never seen that man take his hat off.
So
ever.
He took the hat off. Oh wow, amazing.
Well, that's what he took his hat off. But no video.
I mean, EZ's another one. Of course, I think any garage DJ can safely say he's the reason they got into what they do. And not even just with Rated 2 and your releases as an artist, but Gavin, everything that comes under you and the labels that you run, he's really heavily supported it on his new Volve radio show as well. All the artists that I follow that are with you guys, that are linked working with you, I feel like every other week they're putting up a clip, oh, thanks for supporting this, thanks for supporting that. Do you feel now that all eyes are on you essentially with each release, that you do have expectations to meet?
I think I think we set a high standard of releases, and I think now I think next year is all about taking an artist like Selector, as we keep going back to him, but he's had a great year, and next year is about him going to the next level and us delivering that, and then so again with Tough Culture, so that, you know, we don't want to keep as we say, we're as passionate about their music as they are, so we want to get their music where it deserves to be heard. And I think as much as they've had great years and they're great producers, I don't think they are regarded in the light they should be. I think they are some of the best garage producers in the world, and I think what happens next year, what comes next year, we'll start to see it and prove it.
So yeah. I would say what is the long-term goal, but I think maybe keeping it simple in terms of maybe for the next year or so, where do you both see yourself? Have you got any projects that you're excited about? Obviously you don't have to tell me things if you don't have to, but is there a reason for fans of yours and anyone who's looking to listen to you, have they got reasons to be excited next year?
Yeah, they should be very excited.
Yeah.
Standard.
Yeah. Some of it's dependent on how everything plays out in the real world. We've got some big plans. We had some big plans for this year. We've had to sort of put them on hold a little bit.
But there's big projects coming, and we've wanted to, as well as have big garage producers and have the best garage producers, which we feel like we got some of the best garage, as I say, some of the best garage producers in the world. We wanted to have, when garage came around the first time, there was incredible artists like Craig David and Miss Dynamite, etc. Right? So we've always wanted to have garage artists, and we've potentially got some garage actual artists that will push next year, potentially. Nice. So
all right, cool.
Try to push the scene further, like we always have done, rather than going, oh, this is garage, let's set it. We want to push it further, and there's some great people, there's some great labels doing some great things in garage, and we're just happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's important. It's a very exciting place to be. If anyone's locked into this and they're thinking, right, I need to check out these guys, where can they find you? What is your socials?
It's Garage Shed on everything. So even GS Dub stuff goes through Garage Shed. I want to say, if anybody is thinking of sending us a tune, please do. It's info@garageshed.com.
Amazing.
Yeah, and you need to Sensible Records.
I do. I do. Now I need to jump back in the studio. I think, like you said, with the whole lockdown situation, it either benefited you or you kind of struggled. And I feel like that gave me the time to kind of pause and everything and start production and get into that a little bit more seriously. Do you feel like your production levels went up during lockdown, or was you still stressed and busy as always?
I think it went drastically downhill at the start. Like we were working on an album, and then the first song in lockdown was like the saddest song I think I've ever heard, let alone written. And I was like, this song's so sad. Yeah. It's good, but it was really good, but it's just sad. And I was like, well, nothing else on the album sounds like this. If we keep writing the album, it's going to come out completely different. So just stopped. And then now it's got to the point of, if we don't work on music, to concentrate on what, you know, is going to come, and what this song could come out next year, and this song could come out next year. That keeps us sane, because it stops you thinking about what's going on now, which is, so we've had both ends of the spectrum. It's been the best, and for a bit it was the worst.
Yeah, it's gift and a curse a little bit. Like, you know, and all this free time is great, but we've had so much submissions from everybody else. They've really had time to do a lot of their own stuff, sort of just working on everybody else's stuff, which is fine.
It never stops.
The ultimate goal is to make, well, you know, it's like, well, the ultimate goal is to make them, you know, get to a level anyway and make the scene, or improve the scene as much as we can. So it's not, you know, the worst thing in the world. There's never enough hours in a day, basically.
So obviously places are shut, the clubs are shut, even pubs. Have you guys been able to celebrate your recent releases at all?
Nah.
Waiting until the 3rd, see what happens then.
Not even a cheeky takeaway or a little treat to yourself.
Oh yeah. If you class that as celebrating,
can I be honest, Gavin? Sometimes on your socials, your page comes across like a food review. I think this guy's always eating chocolates and sweet stuff.
I'm always celebrating, and yeah, if you class food as celebrating, then yeah, I'm there. I've been celebrating.
I actually need to hear from you as well. Are these cookies, the Domino's ones with the orange in them, are they banging?
Yeah, they're the future. Yeah,
they're
yeah. Of all the chocolate orange hybrids, they're top 3.
It's important information. It's important information right now. Yeah.
About time we got to the real stuff. We've been talking about this garage stuff for ages. Let's talk about the real stuff. These chocolate orange cookies. Come on.
Chocolate orange cookies is the way forward. And if you don't have a track or an EP or whatever named after that, I'm going to be very disappointed. I think.
Well, now you're giving me something to do. Yeah. So this is
the orange cookie.
Having inspiration this lockdown. Gift and a curse.
All right. So some of this audio will be played on my Base Till Late takeover show on Flex FM 101.4. So once again, guys, could I get you to just say that your personal acts, where can people find you on the socials if they want to give you a follow?
So they can find me on Facebook, just search Bitrate, it's BITR8, and on Instagram as well. And Twitter's Bitrate DJ, because there's some fool's got Bitrate, doesn't use it.
Oh, it's a pain.
Yeah, and I'm Gavin Ford, FOORD on everything apart from Instagram, which is DJ Gavin Ford, because some scumbag Gavin Ford got in before me on that one.
Or, the struggle's so real.
Four's at We Are For, FOOR again, across everything.
Amazing. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
It's been really insightful, and I wish you all the best for the future releases.
Thank you very much.
Cool. Cheers for the support as well.